Well, the New York City corruption scandal appears to be taking a toll. Some are now wondering whether the ongoing investigation may limit Mayor de Blasio's role as a Democratic Party leader.
CBS2 political reporter Marcia Kramer here now with more on the fallout. Marcia.
Well, Maurice and Christine, after he was elected, Bill de Blasio harbored grand national ambitions. He gave speeches around the country, enlisted elected officials to join his Progressive Agenda coalition, and formed a political organization to raise money. Now, engulfed in corruption probes, some question whether he can expand his power base.
Please welcome the former mayor of New York City, the Honorable Rudy Giuliani.
It's been a time-honored tradition that mayors and former mayors of New York City are asked to participate at national conventions. Will Bill de Blasio get that honor this year?
I think it's very unlikely that Bill de Blasio is going to have any kind of a formal speaking engagement at the convention this year.
For de Blasio, who aggressively sought the national spotlight since he became mayor, fallout from the corruption investigations has apparently dimmed his luster.
I think it does make him toxic for the Democratic Party. I don't think that the Clinton campaign is going to want to showcase anybody who is even the tint of challenges in areas of big donor, money.
This after a week of stunning disclosures and subpoenas issued as part of a joint state and federal probe into how de Blasio sought to raise money to elect a democratically controlled Senate to advance his political agenda. Probers are quite simply seeking to investigate charges that Team de Blasio sought to evade individual campaign contribution limits of $10,300 by having donors make big donations to local county committees that in turn earmarked and funneled the money to specific candidates. If you do that, you are breaking the law. De Blasio was grilled about that on the Brian Lehrer radio show.
Did you know what the chain of custody of that money was likely to be?
I was certainly not involved in any of the specifics of the day-to-day of different efforts.
Prosecutors have subpoenaed de Blasio fundraiser Ross Offinger to question him about what instructions he may have given to donors and who told him to.
There was an attempt to evade contribution limits to candidates by funneling money through these political committees to these specific candidates.
Well, I asked the mayor's press secretary if de Blasio would even seek a speaking spot at the convention. She passed the buck to one of his political consultants, who passed the buck back to her. So far, no answer. Christine and Maurice.
Wasn't that long ago? The mayor was in Iowa, remember?
He was in Iowa. He was all over giving speeches. I'm not sure that's going to happen right now.
All right.
Okay, Marcia, thank you.